So this happened about 4 or 5 years ago. My friend and I are huge nerds, so we finally decided to go to a Comic-Con. It happened to be in Boston, but we booked a hotel too late, so we stayed at a hostel. It was further away than we would have liked. The second day we were there, I woke up early to get some breakfast before we went out. I walked out of the elevator with this massive man in early 2000s Sean Jean sweats blocking my way. I walked down the stairs next to me. As I walked down, I saw a small circular table that you'd see at a bar with white powder and a small straw on it. Me, being a curious person, I decided to investigate, and I was correct that it was drugs. I grew up in a bad area, so I knew exactly what I was looking at. I figured I might as well go to the bathroom before the long walk to the restaurant. While I made my walk to the bathroom, I saw the man that was blocking the elevator now pacing back and forth very aggressively in the lobby. I'm in the bathroom doing my business, then bam! Someone kicks the door in with force. Completely scared, all I hear is heavy breathing. I peeked through the crack of the door. It's the same man again. He's just standing there, looking at the crack of the door, watching me watch him. In just 2 giant steps, he's at the door to the stall and just starts aggressively shaking the door. I put my feet up on the door to make it so he couldn't get into the stall with me. He walks to the other stall in the bathroom and looks like he sits sideways. By the way, his feet are pointed in my direction. The wall moves like he's pressing his fist against it with full force. Then he just screams really loudly. It almost sounded like he was in pain, but mixed with just anger and hate. He slammed the door to the bathroom on his way out when he was done yelling. I waited a few minutes and texted my friend to get to the bathroom quickly. We checked with the front desk while we left, and they hardly caught a glimpse of the man when he ran out of the hostel. They said he definitely wasn't staying there and had no idea who he was. I asked if they had cameras, which I knew they did because you could see them, but they said they haven't worked in weeks and the owner doesn't want to waste money to fix them. We didn't go back till about 11 p.m., and went straight to the room until we fell asleep around 2 a.m. I woke up to the sound of someone trying to get into the room. They turned the hall lights off, but I could hear the doorknob moving. I quietly moved the desk in front of the door just in case. I know I was just paranoid, but after what happened earlier, I didn't care. I just didn't want to see that guy again. So, I live in supported housing. This means that I basically have a room in a house that I share with others who have learning disabilities. When my best friend moved in, this one particular tenant, who we soon started to call Creeper, full-on stalked her. He would lurk outside her room late at night, waiting for her to come out. If she didn't come out, he would go outside and knock on her window. He would watch her come out of the shared bathroom from top of the stairs. He's tried to kiss her, and one time touched her on the shoulder and said he was looking after her when a support worker asked what he was doing. He's also waited on the stairs when her and I came back from a trip at like 11:30 at night. Needless to say, we waited around the side of the building until he went away. He's also watched her through his blinds, and he's been warned at least 3 times by support workers to leave her alone. Now here's the worst part. He's 45, she's 22, and he's had a girlfriend who he's been with for 10 years, but he doesn't like her very much, judging by the frustrated phone calls he has with her on the daily. Now, he also displayed a milder form of his behavior when I moved in, but he started leaving me alone within a few months. But the only difference with my friend is he is infatuated with her. So not only is he emotionally and physically trying to cheat on his girlfriend, who he doesn't even seem to like, but he's been doing it since my friend moved in, which was at the beginning of the year. He needs to be charged with sexual harassment and his girlfriend needs to dump him. He needs to be thrown out of the house too, but his special needs seem to give people an excuse not to have him punished, and I'm sick of it. If it weren't for whatever he has, he'd be in prison. I wanted to share this because I'm done with him. I want him to leave my friend alone. I want him out of this house. The staff aren't doing anything about it, so I'm going to take matters into my own hands. But what should I do? My best friend, Meg, and I were pretty crazy in our uni days. We were both in rocky relationships with our respective boyfriends, and every time we had a quarrel, we'd just call each other, borrow a friend's bike and smoke a pack of cigarettes as an act of rebellion, and come back. This one time, it was Meg who had had the quarrel. She came up to me in the library, which was about to close around 10 p.m., and asked if I wanted to join her for an outing. Heck yeah. So we took the bike and headed out of the campus. Now, you see, our university campus was about 6 miles from the city. It was on the outskirts, more towards the forest and along the highway. There were still a few cottages nearby, but people here would sleep by 9, and an occasional truck would be the only thing that would break the deafening silence that prevailed. So it was the usual night. We took our bikes and headed towards the city, bought our pack of cigarettes, and on the way back, as soon as we took the road to the highway, lit our cigarettes up and started smoking. We didn't notice, but a car started to follow us. It didn't honk, it didn't overtake, it just followed us. We slow our bike. The car would also slow its pace. We increase our speed. The car would do the same. It started to get creepy. I looked behind and saw the interior of the car was lit up. There were men and women in the car. The driver grinned at me. I turned away. Meg, who was driving, began to freak out. "I think we should stop and let them pass," she said. "Are you crazy? What if they're a bunch of murderers?" She was trembling now, and the bike began to shake. "Maybe they're just following us because we are smoking," she said. We threw away our cigarettes, and the car continued to follow us. Thankfully now, we were close to our campus and decided we'll stop and see what happens. When we stopped, the car stopped too. The people inside just stared at us. It was creepy. There were around 3 men and a woman. After what seemed like a lifetime of staring at each other, the car took a reverse turn and went back the path it had followed us. That was the last we went out on our revolt rides late at the night. Whoever you strangers were, I hope we never meet again.